Yep, Pete Alonso just did that. The Mets-Brewers wild card has been crazy, if not frustrating. Game 1, the Mets, down by 1 in the 5th, put together a clinic of clutch hitting. In this inning alone, they'd pile on 5 runs, all scored with 2 outs. Just incredible. When it comes to postseason baseball, moments as big as ever, that is what you need. Players to come up in these opportunities, and they ran with it. That 2-run single from J.D. Martinez would make it 8-4. We'd flash forward to the 9th inning. Ryan Stanek, he's nails, and the Mets would win Game 1 soundly. But then you go to Game 2. They have a 1-0 lead. Runners on the corner, 1 man out, and Pete Alonso grounds into a double play, tripping over his bat all the while. That's why he only made it about halfway and quit, which meant that this Jackson Churio home run would tie up the game, as opposed to making it a 1 or 2 run game. Those are the kind of things that get you eliminated in October. Also, Jackson Churio, if you didn't know the name, you know it well after this series. Now, Mets right here, 3-1. Mark Vientos, fly out with 2 runners on. Starling Marte stole second. Nobody out in this inning. Tyrone Taylor, he'd strike out. Francisco Alvarez, he would strike out. Then finally, Francisco Lindor, 1-2-3. No runs come across with a runner on second base with nobody out. That is inexcusable. And again, the Brewers would slowly trickle back. It's 3-2 now. You see a weird intentional walk from Lindor. Bases loaded. The crowd is amped, and Payamps gets out of it. And all that would culminate in the 8th inning when Churio again goes opposite field. The kid, not man, he's 20 years old. Legally, he cannot have an alcoholic beverage yet, and he is being the man when it comes to playoff baseball. Back to back, here's Garrett Mitchell. You know what they say, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. How about baseball too? That is just barely over the fence, but it counts. 2-run shot, Brewers are up, making a huge comeback after being down the whole game. And this is a lot like an NFL kicker, shanking a kick in the last moment. Is it his fault? Sure, but the Mets were 2-for-11 with runners in scoring position. You can't win games like that. So it was clear in a rubber match. Game 3, winner moves on to the NLDS. The Mets would have to come up in these big opportunities. And in Game 3, it was a pitcher's duel, both from the Mets, Jose Quintana, and the Brewers, Tobias Myers. They were nails. It was a scoreless ball game until the 7th when this Jake Bauers home run electrified American fan. Well, I still like to call it Miller Park. Come on, let's stop changing the name all the time. But that wouldn't be all, because Sal Frelick would go back to back, crushing this one once again to the right field seats. And at this point, I think you're starting to get noise complaints from houses around the stadium. It is energized up until Pete Alonso. 9th inning, 1 out, 3-run shot. What a moment in the biggest game of his career, letting out a prompt "let's fucking go." Pete Alonso, he's still, right? He's around third base. He's still on it. I have to imagine he said it at least 10 times while making the trot. What a moment for the Miracle Mets right there. Pete Alonso, who had been struggling in this series. He'd been struggling this year. And then down to the 9th, Bryce Terrain, ground ball. Francisco Lindor does it all himself, and the Miracle Mets are moving on to the NLDS. What a game, what a series, and the only one that was not a sweep. And I feel so happy for Pete Alonso. Like we said, struggled this year. His worst year as a Met. There was talk he was going to get traded, and he comes up big and moves them on to the next round. Congratulations. The Mets live to see another miracle.